Hey, this is Max here. So welcome to part 2. So this part is about segmentation and personalization. And I think this is heavily underestimated in marketing and especially in Facebook Messenger bots because I don't see anyone doing this. It's like crazy. Like this is so effective. It works so well and people totally love it. So let me show you how it works. So first I'm going to give you a little intro because not everyone is the same, right? Like your subscribers have different needs, different problems, and different interests. And that's why you need to segment new subscribers or even existing subscribers so that you can figure out which specific problems, needs, and interest every subscriber has so that you can use this in the conversation. So, what is segmentation? So segmentation, basically, if you would Google it, it would say that you put like people in like different parts or that you separate people. But I would explain this as that you figure out what problems, needs, and interests people have, and that you give them little labels. And these labels are basically tags that you use to store that info. So we're going to ask a few questions, and the answers to those questions we're going to store as tags. Now, and these labels, they will allow you to make your messenger bot more personal and more relevant. Now, why would you do this? Like, sounds maybe like a little bit extra work, right? Well, I think that marketing is all about sending the right message to the right people at the right time. Maybe you've heard this before. This is like nothing new. And yeah, if your messages are not relevant, then people are not going to pay attention. So you have to know who you are talking to. So imagine that you're like walking into a store or walking into a car dealer and they are like, hey, I know who you are. I know what you want. Here's something I can sell you. So for example, with that car dealer, you walk into the car dealer and this person comes over you and they're like, hey, here's an awesome Porsche. You want to buy it? Well, that probably in real life doesn't happen, right? Like they will probably come over to you. They're like, hey, cool. What kind of problems or needs or interests do you have? Like, do you maybe have like a family? Do you need to transport your children like safely? Or are you more like the sportive type and you don't have children? And are you more into Porsches or Lamborghinis? Like whatever, like they will ask you a few questions and then they will say something like, hey, here's a car that I think would be right for you. Want to buy it? Like would be way more effective. So the benefits of this is that you will improve the customer experience, right? Like somebody goes into your messenger bot and you want to give them a good experience. And I think it's important that we stop with the one too many. Like we should just send one message out to everyone, which will likely not be very relevant for everyone on your list. So what I want you to create, what you're also going to learn in this lesson and in the rest of this course, is that you can create like hyper personalized Facebook Messenger bots. And that it's more like having a one-on-one conversation instead of one too many, while still being able to automating the whole process. Now, this is also going to boost engagement because if you're not relevant versus being relevant, then I think this is quite easy, right? Like if it's not relevant, people won't be engaging. Well, if it's relevant, they will be engaging. And this will also result in more revenue because if you're more relevant, you will get more engagement. And if you get more engagement, you will get more sales. So how do you do that? How do you do that segmentation? So what you have to do is you have to ask the right questions and you need a smart segmentation process inside Facebook Messenger. So I came up with something that I call the mini interview. So in the mini interview, you have 3 to 5 multiple choice questions. So you have like a question and then underneath you have some quick replies people can click to answer. And then each answer is saved as a tag, so that this tag you can use to like hyper personalize the conversation. And we're going to do this. So we're going to do this mini interview and I'll also show you what mine looks like in a bit. And then you also have to keep asking questions. So maybe you've noticed that in my messenger bot, if you're already in it a little bit longer, I keep asking questions. And also in future lessons, for example, there's also a lesson about how you can combine email and bots. I'm going to ask you, which email service provider are you using? So if you then give an answer to that, I will store that as a tag so that in the future I can use that in the conversation to make it more relevant to you. Now, then we have to track behavior and interest. So, for example, which articles people read, what did they opt in for, what are they interested in. So then you can just like give people tags or like labels, like I said earlier, to that. And you can also use what you already have. So where are they from? Like, for example, Facebook sometimes provides the user language. So if somebody speaks Dutch, it's likely that they're from the Netherlands. Like, this is maybe not relevant for you. Like, for me, it's not so relevant where someone is from. But maybe for you it is. And then you can use that also. Or you could use, is it a man or a woman? So, for example, imagine you have an e-commerce store for like some kind of clothing. So if you have a message for women, because you know that they're a woman, then you can say something like, hey, we have 10 tips for nice summer dresses. Like, do you want to receive them? Like, if you would send that to a guy, probably not going to get so much response. And if you know that someone is a man, you can say something like, hey, we have 10 awesome tips for awesome swim shorts or something. Or I don't know, if you're in the pregnancy yoga business, then to woman you could say something like, you and the proud daddy to be. And well, if this is a man, you can say you and the mommy to be, just to make it more relevant. So you can hyper personalize by using all this info, and then you can use that for conditional content. So in the implementation workshop, I'm also going to show you how this all works. Like, I don't want to overwhelm you right now, but if somebody has like tag A, you could send ABC. If somebody has tag B, you can send DEF. So I quickly want to show you what that mini interview looks like in Facebook Messenger. So this is what the flow looks like. I know it's like a bit technical. I'm also not going to dive too deep into this right now. But what we're basically saying is like, hey, to personalize your experience, I would like to ask you 3 questions. Is that okay? And then when somebody says okay, we ask them like, hey, do you create Facebook Messenger bots for your own business or also for clients? Like, this is what I'm asking, right? You would very likely be asking something else. And then if somebody says for my business, then we save the tag, segment, type for my business. Then we ask, what products or services do you offer? Now, if somebody says online courses, I add the tag that says segment, business, online courses. And then I ask what their biggest struggle is right now. So let me preview this and show you what this looks like inside Facebook Messenger. So you would get this message that says, hey, to personalize your experience, I would like to ask you 3 questions. Is that okay? Now, then we say, ok, no problem. Then we get the first question. So do you create Facebook Messenger bots for your own business or also for your clients? Now, if somebody says for my business, then I'm going to ask, okay, cool. What kind of business? Like, what kind of products or services do you offer? So if somebody says online courses, then I would try to help them to sell more online courses. Well, if somebody would be doing consulting services, I will try to get them better at that, or try to sell more consulting services through messenger bots, right? So that helps me to personalize my examples and my messaging and just like all kinds of cool stuff. And then you can also ask, now, what is your biggest struggle right now? So I know that my audience has one of these 3 struggles often. Or they have like struggles growing their list, or they have struggles to convert their leads or to increase their revenue in general. So if I would say, okay, I have struggles growing my list, then we have a last question that says, okay, if I were to help you, what would be the best way? Now, then you can say online courses, one-on-one coaching, or people can say, I don't need help. And these questions are like super important because every question will be stored as a tag. So if we then go over to my audience profile, like my subscriber profile, if it allows me to do that. Oh yeah, here. Then you see here, now this is me. And then you see that I have these tags here, right? Like help, online courses, goal, grow list, business, online courses, type, for my business. And these tags I can use to hyper personalize the conversation with conditional content, which I'm also going to show you in the implementation workshop. But I want to like stop right here. Like we're going to do it like this. So I have like a little action for you to take. And then in the implementation workshop, we're going to dive deeper on this. So what I want you to do is I want you to write 3 to 5 multiple choice questions that you can ask new subscribers. So think about, who is this person? Like, what are their biggest struggles? What is their desired goal? And what's the best way to help them? So if you look at what I did here, like here I ask like, okay, who are you? Now for me it's relevant. Like, are they doing this for their business, or are they marketers that are doing this for clients? What kind of products or services do you offer? Now here in this person online courses, what is your biggest struggle right now? Growing my list. And if I were to help you, what would be the best way? Online courses. Now this info helps me to like personalize my messaging. Like for example, here I said, what is the biggest struggle right now? Somebody said growing my list. And then here somebody got an invitation for my free course. And that says here, would you like to take part in my free course that will help you to get more subscribers? Do you see what we did there? Like somebody said biggest struggle right now, growing my list. And here I said this. So this is like a very simple, easy example. You can go totally nuts on this. You can go totally crazy in this. And this is really, really cool. So yeah, think about those questions. So a quick example. So maybe this would be relevant for a gym or something. So somebody could ask like, hey, in which city do you live? Not New York. What is your biggest struggle right now? Eating healthy. What is your goal? Losing weight. What would be the best way to help you? Now, maybe one-on-one coaching. Now, and if you know that, you can also do relevant offers, right? Like then you can say like, hey, cool. Let me come up with something cool. We have a gym in New York. Would you like to have a coach there that is going to help you to lose weight by eating healthy? Like something like that, right? That would be crazy relevant for this person. So it's very likely that they're going to be interested in that. So yeah, with this lesson, I just wanted to show you how important it is that you do segmentation and personalization. So you can go totally nuts on this, you can go totally crazy, but for now, I want you to focus on this mini interview. Like, how do you, like, what kind of questions are you going to ask? Think about that really well. So if you have struggles with this, don't hesitate, just reach out to me and I'll try to help you as best as I can. Okay, I'll see you in the next lesson.